Well, joining me live in our Lagos studio to look at this and, of course, discuss developments across waste management in the Center of Excellence is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Lagos State Waste Management Authority, Mr. Ibrahim Odumboni. Thank you very much for your time. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that video tells that story. Now, take us through what's been happening, maybe what you met on ground, and what the situation is at the moment with waste management in this big state.
I think the key thing for us to consider is with what our governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is doing currently with waste management in the state, is putting more of sustainability in place for years to come, not just addressing the gaps that we've had over the couple of years. Is the rejuvenation of Loma as a whole, bringing Loma back after the aftermath of the policy somersault where we have Visionscape. Lagos now is in a better position, and we credit that to the knowledge and the in-depth understanding of what the waste management demands of the states are for Mr. Governor. We also know that waste management, it comes in 5 stages. So the first one, generation of waste, collection of waste, cogeneration, sorting from source, collection, disposal, and then treatment. So for us, when we talk about what has this administration done under the team's agenda, health and environment, if you look at waste management in isolation, we talk about the generation of waste. We've educated people. We continue to do a lot of advocacy around educating our people on what they need to do with their waste, making sure they have the right receptacles in place and things like that. We're also launching Adopt a Beam program in weeks to come as well to complement what we're doing in terms of generation of waste. Sorting of waste, on September 5th, 2019, our governor launched the Blue Box program, which has involved to what we call Lagos Recycle, to encourage people to sort waste and kickstart recycling, which is a sector itself that has been quite informal, but this administration has made that formal, thereby providing a lot of jobs for the youth, for the teeming youths out there. We have about 6,000 plus people in that sector who are now gainfully employed and doing what they like doing best. Now we move to the collection of waste. These 102 trucks and 100 dyno bins are going to make a lot of difference. It's going to make our operation smooth and effective and efficient. I want to once again appreciate our PSPs with what they've done over the years. They've always done their best. I know they have about 850 plus in their fleets. So this will complement what they have at the moment. And then we'll move Lagos to a much better place whereby we are catering for 100% of the waste that we are generating across the state. Another thing this administration has done very well, that probably might not be known to everybody, but for those of us in Loma or waste management sector, or somebody that is quite keen about waste management in the states, we look at the disposal system. We've last year, the administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu rehabilitated all our 5 landfills. If you go past Olusoisu now, you see that we are now capping it. We are mitigating, we are looking at various ways we can move to what the next step is, which is the treatment, and ensuring we create a very good waste to wealth environment, making our access accessible to investors out there that might want to come and bring the next level of technology to us. And I'm quite confident that with the achievements we've had over the last 4, the final one with us to do waste to energy, with the trend we are going, we should be able to achieve that before the end of the year as well. So I really appreciate what the government is doing for us. It's totally going to change the way you see our highways. When you come into Lagos, you can be very well confident that we at Loma, we are ready to work.
This looks to me like an investment, a very big investment. Can we put a figure to all of this? Or if we don't, what are we really projecting? What are we looking at for Loma to be able to be at par with international waste management agencies like yours?
I think if you want to put a value to this, it will be quite big. For me, it'll be the emotional value, which is the goodwill, the emotional value, the support you get from the governor and the Honorable Commissioner of Environment as well. If you add that to the value, I won't be able, I'll go to trillions. Let's go to that. But I was recently in Vegas for the International Waste Expo, and I was there. I was able to compare what we do currently in Lagos and what they do in other big cities like New York, across the world. And I can confirm to you we're not that far. What Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is doing and has done for us, because what we are launching tomorrow bring us even more closer to the so-called developed countries. But by the time we have the final stage achieved, we will be at par. So we're looking forward to a very good sustainable waste management in years to come. We're not only planning a foundation, we're consolidating a solid foundation that we can build a lot of things on. Some of the main problems that we have in Nigeria and Lagos as a whole, electricity problem, there will be a time we'll be able to generate electricity from our waste. So we're looking forward to the future. And also, if you look at the recycling that we kickstart, it's a big sector on its own. We have over 6,000 people working in there. We have recyclers in there now. We can see a lot of things coming out of it. Majority of what we do and what we use in Lagos, we can use all these plastic bottles to manufacture them. If we don't do anything about it, a single-use plastic spends about 450 years before it decays. So this plastic will outlive us if somebody's not doing anything about it. So I'm really very appreciative to the entire executive member of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in making sure we take a stand with this. And we continue to appeal to our residents, to all the organized estate, let us continue to sort our waste from source and then try and improve on what we've got.
Now, when I'm always interested in the money part. Anyway, maybe because I'm a business person, but I'm now looking at investors wanting to join you guys to, to support this very noble initiative. It's a multi-billion naira investment. So how well would you say for investors? How are they coming to you, and how are you receiving them? What's the turnout like?
I think the over the last 2 years, we've seen an improvement and an increase in number of interested keen investors that have been coming to Loma. So for example, I'll give you an example. If you look at the PSP structure, post policy somersault, we have about 350 PSPs. Now we have about 457 PSPs.
Wow.
So despite COVID, despite economic turn, a lot has been invested into the business. So majority of those PSP have an average of 3 trucks each, which costs an average of 15 million. 45 million each multiplied by the number of people that have joined. A lot of billions have been invested in this business. Also, we look at the waste to energy. We have a lot of proponents that have come to us, showed a keen interest in how to turn our waste to wealth, both at Olusosun, Solus, and all our facilities. And I'm happy to tell you that in coming weeks, between September and October, we'll be having an investor forum where people like you can come, different investors can come, IFC, different investors all across the world can come. We all sit down and talk about the investment opportunities we have in Loma. So we want to showcase what we have. So if there's any myths, any silo, anything that's preventing happening, we address it together. So we're working with all the other sister agencies to make sure that we bring that to life. We want to bring Loma to the investors out there. We want to bring the waste management to the investor out there, because it's a field that I know, it's a sector that I know that a lot can be achieved from. So we can't just leave it to myths and stories and beliefs. No. Let us bring reality. Let's practical knowledge, academics, finance, let all meet together and talk about ways to promote ways to work.
I'm also interested in the Olusosun thing and others that you talked about. I think we need better explanation of what is really happening around there, because what we perceive is just what we know. We just drive past and even around this, sometime around the location. So what is really happening, so that Lagosians understand maybe the process, the stage at which we are, and how soon we will get back everything back to the way it should be?
Yeah, so Olusosun dump site has been in existence for over 27 years. That dump site has carried Lagos very well, and it's done very well for Lagos. And what this administration has done and is doing is to ensure that we have a way of migrating that site to a state-of-the-art waste-to-energy site. To do that, what do we need to do? Number one, we've rehabilitated the facility, and we are currently capping it to prevent gas emissions and then not have a situation of open dumping in there. So we're capping what we have there. While we're capping that, we're also intensifying our efforts to bring in investors that will be coming in to do waste to energy and waste to wealth in there. But waste to energy, it doesn't matter, no matter how much which has been deposited in there over the last 27 years, they can still be extracted and turned to energy. So what we're trying to do is to make sure that is one of the landmark of the state. We want to try and beautify, make it more professional. So by the time we have our investors that comes in, it will be pretty much like an industry rather than an open dumping field. So a lot of effort is being put into that, and we are receiving a lot of support from our governor on that.
Okay, now let me stay with energy, utilizing waste to become energy source. Let's go back to this conversation around meeting cities' energy demand and using waste to power. So at what stage are we, or are we going to get to that point anytime soon? It's still looking to me like, how soon would that happen in Lagos?
I'm quite optimistic that we'll definitely get to that point in this administration, this current administration.
Wow.
Because we have a mandate from our Honorable Commissioner and same mandate from Mr. Governor to ensure that we deliver on that. And that's why in Loma we created a waste management development unit who specifically looks into this. So they review our proposal, post practical. We've been to different cities across the world. Any proposal we get, we are trying to not use one size fits all. So we understand the peculiarity of Lagos. So we're trying to find a solution that addresses a similar climate and environment that we have. And at the same time, making sure it's efficient, it's financially efficient, and it's done prudently, not done without risk being bear in mind. So that's why it's how well it's delivered. There's no need for us to rush it, but we are at the tail end of it, and I'm quite sure that this administration will deliver on that.
So we're commissioning. I need more details.
So we're commissioning 102
right?
waste trucks,
which
consist of 90 compactors, mammoth compactors, ginormous cars.
The pictures we saw earlier, we saw those pictures.
So, and then we have a hook loader for lifting of all the bins that we place in our market, which are about 12 of them. That makes 102. Then about 100 dyno bins. Those bins have a capacity between about 16 cubic meters capacity. So they will be able to keep that for a majority of our markets. So we're going to put them in public places and use that to manage our waste effectively. But the key thing is, this investment is very important. We need our residents out there to continue to patronize our PSP. We are not bringing this truck in to tail out the PSP. The PSP will still do your residential collection, your commercial collection, but on our major road, on public places, Loma will address that effectively. So the aspect whereby, like my colleague mentioned in the video, where over the last 2 years, it's been a teething thing for us. But we knew that our governor is doing something about it. And we've done excellently well. This administration deserves a bigger kudos than what they will get. Because at the end of it, what we have now are brand new trucks, not used trucks. So these trucks will give us a long lifespan. We have a 3 years warranty on them. Then we have a very robust financial sustainability package on them as well. An average used trucks that comes to Nigeria spend 15 years in Europe before turning up in Nigeria. But what we have now are a truck born in Nigeria, Oba Akran out there, with a lot of all our staff employed, loads of other people joining to put it all together, creating an economic space for people to strive. And at the same time, these trucks, everyone in our engineering team understand how to put them apart.
I was going to ask you that. Local content is very important here. So how are we also taking advantage of local content so that when these bosses, when there are issues, we don't have to leave the country or have to order the parts before we get them fixed?
So one of the things I want to share with people is that those compactors were designed inside Loma. You can never find them anywhere.
That's a good one.
So they don't look like an average like a normal compactor. So for example, when you see a compactor going, you can see water leaking. We keep that for that.
True.
So we have a leakage, like a leachate reservoir in the truck.
Good.
So all the water that comes from the waste is going to a particular place. There will be nobody hanging on trucks again. They can all sit all around the trucks. Then also, when it comes to maintenance, every technician we have understands when there's a troubleshoot on the car, they know how to diagnose it and they know how to fix it. So we put it was all put in pieces and assembled in front of us from the first one to the very last one. And we have videos of that. So even if we have new technicians join us, they can look at it. We have manuals of it. We understand how to operate, and it's easy to fix for us as well. And there's the after sales service agreement between us and Mesa Dangote Sino Truck as well. They've done fantastically well. Basically, it's like we made this truck in our backyard. Very good.
So I'm looking at what Loma is going to look like in a few years with all of these efforts and the support you are getting from Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. It's clear that we're going to have what kind of Loma are we going to have, because it's looking so technologically inclined and all of that.
I think for myself, I can't even imagine. For the last 5 days that we've been preparing for the launch, every time I look at those trucks, I'm lost for words and what to do. So for me, you look at it. We've worked to bones for years, and now you basically like you having five trucks, and now you go like 10,000 trucks. You know what to do, where to start from. But for me, what we've done, we've sat down, we looked at where our challenges are. We've distributed those trucks to be seen in every nooks and crannies of Lagos, the major roads, major areas where they feel there's capacity challenges. They'll be distributed there. And for us, there's no excuse for us not to deliver. Last year, one of the survey rated Loma. At the back of what we did last year, we had to do it. Even despite COVID, we got a lot of support from this administration. We were able to claw back Lagos being in top 5, being the dirtiest city, down to being 3rd. We were ranked 3rd last year, November. So we're a race against time. So now we got our trucks. Before this November, let's see how we can push our stuff and beat at the top and lead from the front, so that every other state can come and emulate us as well. So we've got no excuse to work. All our staff, everybody's happy. Tomorrow is our happiest day in Loma. We're all going to be singing and dancing, and then you can have a cleaner and consistently cleaner Lagos. But I must appreciate the effort the ministry has put in as well, because they help with different monitoring support for us as well. They created a city monitor app now that people can use to monitor infractions everywhere. So I will implore people to download it on iOS and Google Play as well, and also do the same thing for our Pakam app for recycling. It's like a Uber app for recycling. So with all these things coming together, it's going to really help us. So Ministry of Environment, the monitoring officers, they've helped us over the years to track all our progress and move when we have limited resources. But now that we have what we need to move to the next gear, we need to be able to work smartly, effectively, and proactively.
Mr. Ibrahim, before I let you go, it's all looking very, very beautiful. What are the challenges? You need to let Lagosians know what challenges maybe your men face, carrying out their duties, and what you think they need to do so that they can also help you to achieve your aim.
So a couple of challenges for us. Number one, we have our heroes on the road. Thanks to Mr. Governor, we have about 15,000 sweepers in Lagos, all across the states. And from time to time, we have mortality incidences. We want motorists to be very careful with our sweepers. They are mothers and daughters of people. They are people that are very dear to us. One life in Loma is very important, is more valuable than anything. So please protect our people when you are driving on the road, especially the small kekes. They are the ones that always causes a lot of problems for them, and the bikes. Try and respect our people. It's very important. They've left their house to come and work. They need to go back home all in one piece. Secondly, people need to engage their PSPs. They need to pay for waste. Waste is not free. All these PSPs, they've invested millions over time. They've kept faith. Even in difficult times, they've been with these states, and they will continue to be. So the reassurance is for tenements to continue to pay them. When they service you, pay your waste bill. When you have concerns with them, call our customer service line. Is all on our website, all our social media handles. Give us a call. And also, stop migrating waste in Lagos. People come from different parts of the state. You bring your waste from Ikorodu to Ikeja. All that needs to stop. Your PSP, pay your PSP, engage them, they pay. People that are bringing states from other states, all those neighboring states to Lagos, we have now, through the support of the Chief Justice, we've gotten a couple of more magistrate courts that can hear environmental cases. We are going to do a lot of enforcement and advocacy. Lagos is there to be clean. Before you throw a piece of paper on the floor in Lagos, think twice. You might be facing the ultimate penalty. Thank you.
All right, it's a good way to leave it, and I wish you well. Where's your event holding tomorrow?
It's holding at the governor's office in Alausa.
Okay.
Tomorrow will be the day we'll be unveiling it, but it will be there for people to see, because immediately after the event, we'll be able to move them into our formations. Since we've broken down into 4 districts, so you will see them in your district.
It's a good way to live it. I've been speaking to the right man, the MD, CEO of Lagos State Waste Management Authority. I know he can go on and on if I let him go, talking about waste and what can happen in the state. Mr. Ibrahim Odumboni, thank you very much for spending your afternoon with us. We really appreciate it. All right, then.